there. Today, starting with one of the chapter of history. But before starting, let's connect it with what we studied prior in the chapter number 1 of history. In chapter number 1 of history, we started with that how the Europeans or Britishers arrived in India, how the two wars took place, two battles took place, Battle of Plassey and Battle of Boxer, one after the other. At the end of Battle of Boxer, we had discussed that Britishers had the control over the territories of the combined army which was formed by Mir Qasim. So this is how Britishers were able to expand their territory. Right? So let's continue our chapter from there now. So after the Battle of Boxer, when Britishers already got control over some of the territories of India, Governor General Lord Wellesley arrived. Now what happened after that we would be studying in this chapter. Chapter number 4, how traders became rulers. As the name of the chapter suggests, it is going to give us information about that the Britishers who came to India for trade, how they became our rulers. Right? So after Governor General Lord Wellesley arrived in India and became the Governor General of India, what has happened? He introduced a policy which was known as subsidiary alliance. Now it was very much clear that Britishers wanted to expand their rule in our country. So they started having the policy of divide and rule. So whatever princely states were there in our country, they started having the policy of divide and rule for them. Under the name of divide and rule, they adopted a policy of subsidiary alliance. Right? Lord Wellesley introduced one cruel policy on India which was named as subsidiary alliance. Now what was that policy? According to the policy, the state who gets ready, the state who agrees to adopt the subsidiary alliance had to keep the British army into their princely state, and the maintenance of that army was to be bare by king. Now what was the motive of Britishers to have this? In this manner, they would be able to sustain the British army without any expenses in India. Right? So whatsoever princely states agree to have adoption of subsidiary alliance has to keep and maintain British army into their kingdom. Second point, one British representative will be sitting in the royal court. Now what was the Britishers' idea about this point? In this manner, they would be able to know each and every small and big decisions or the matters which are discussed in the royal court. Right? So this is how they started having an idea of what is happening in all the states around. The third one. In spite of keeping the British army in the allowing one of the British representatives to sit in the court. The kingdom or the king was not allowed to use the army at his own will. For example, if particular king accepts the subsidiary alliance, gets ready to keep and maintain British army, allows one of the Britisher to sit in the royal court, and if that king wish to have a battle with any another princely state, he will not be able to utilize this British army to wage a war. In this manner, no matter you are keeping the British army, you are allowing the one of the representatives to sit in the royal court, you will not be able to utilize the army of Britisher to wage a war. They only have the reason that army is only for the protection of their kingdom. Right? These were the points which were the part of subsidiary alliance. Many princely states became the victim of this policy, as this policy was like a sweet poison. In the initial stages, kings of the princely states found that yes, it is very good policy, it is positive. But later they came to know about the reality of the policy, that nothing is fruitful if we accept this policy, and this is how whatsoever states agreed to have accepting the subsidiary alliance became the victim of the Britishers and lost their kingdoms. The Nizam of Hyderabad was the first one to accept this subsidiary alliance. But why the Nizam accepted? Nizam accepted the subsidiary alliance because he had lost everything in the war with Marathas. Right? So he was under the need. So he agreed for the protection of his kingdom to have the subsidiary alliance. One after the other, many princely states started adopting subsidiary alliance. The states who became the victims of this policy were Hyderabad, Mysore, Ayodhya, Jodhpur, Gaekwads of Vadodara, Scindias of Gwalior, etc. This is how many princely states became the victim of subsidiary alliance. Tipu Sultan of Mysore refused to have the adoption of subsidiary alliance, but Mysore was forced to join because of the war in which Tipu Sultan lost. So he has to join forcefully subsidiary alliance. Other criteria, that Maratha chief means the head of the Marathas, started fighting among themselves after the death of Nana Fadnavis, who was the chief of Maratha. He died, and after that the chief of Maratha started quarreling among themselves, taking an advantage of the situation. What has happened? Britishers adopted the divide and rule policy, and one by one the Maratha states started becoming victim of subsidiary alliance. So this is how within the span of only 7 years, Wellesley made many states of India victim of subsidiary alliance, and they were successful in expanding their rule in India. This is how within the 7 years of time, British rule became supreme in our country. Right? Now, after the adoption adoption of subsidiary alliance, obviously that took an expansion of British rule in India. So let's see what has happened next. After finalizing the Treaty of Subsidiary Alliance with Mysore, Hyderabad and chieftains of Marathas, British moved towards northern part of India. They had the Treaty of Friendship with Nepal. Why they had the friendly relations with Nepal? For the reason they were sensing threat from Nepal. The Gurkhas of Nepal are considered to be very powerful persons. So sensing the threat from them, they became friends with Nepal. Next, they had friendly relations with Sikh king Maharaja Ranjit Singh. To establish the friendly relations with Maharaja Ranjit Singh, they helped Maharaja Ranjit Singh to win the battle against Afghans and establish the rule in Sindh. This is how Maharaja Ranjit Singh was successful in establishing his rule in Sindh region in the north side. Now Britishers at that time had an aim to capture the Sikh kingdom. They wanted the whole Sindh kingdom into their control, which wasn't possible until Maharaja Ranjit Singh was alive. So they had friendly relations with Maharaja Ranjit Singh, right? With the help of British army, Maharaja Ranjit Singh attained victories over many states. In this way, everything was going smooth. After the death, Maharaja Ranjit Singh now died. So after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, what happened? Punjab suffered anarchy. No more. There was a person who can have the rule. Right? So Governor General Henry Hardinge came to India and brought the Sikh rule under the control of Britishers by having the annexation and interference into their kingdom. Now what do you mean by annexation? They forcefully took that kingdom into their rule. Right? So this is how Wellesley adopted subsidiary alliance. After that, some of the kingdom they had friendly relationships with. Some of the kingdoms forcefully they took under their control. This is how the British rule started expanding in our country. Right? Next in the chapter, we are going to learn about one another cruel policy, which is annexation policy, that we are going to discuss in our next lecture. Till then, try to understand whatever concepts we discussed in today's lecture. Thank you so much.
आभार।